Welcome back to Sleepover. My name is Daniel Cabral.
I'm Vince Caldera.
I'm Luis Lamus.
And today we have a very, very special guest, man. We have been one of our first guests, actually.
Here from the road.
Here from the road. Please welcome Brad Wenzel.
Hey, everybody.
He's here, dude.
What's up, Brad?
Thanks for having me.
It is so good to see you, dude.
I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Likewise.
For some reason, I thought there was going to be a crowd, and I expected like an applause.
I immediately started panicking because I was like, do I look into the camera? Do I look at you guys? Or do I look to the... there's not an audience. But it feels,
This is the first time I'm like recording without the headphones, and it feels so different.
Do you feel liberated?
I don't. I feel scared.
Oh, really?
I feel like I'm naked right now.
You're so used to it,
Yeah. But where are you coming from right now?
I was in Detroit, and now I'm in LA for a little bit. And
Have you
then
seen Barbarian?
Oh no, but that's what everyone says.
Yeah.
That movie came out like right before.
What are the famous movies are in Detroit? Oh,
It Follows is from Detroit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
8
Yeah.
Mile?
8 Mile?
Oh, that's
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
8 Mile's
Do
probably
you
the
ever
biggest one.
see Three Brothers?
Four
I think-
Brothers?
Four Brothers? Is that what it's called?
Dude, that is like a
That's-
TNT classic.
Yeah, that's a really fun
Yeah,
one.
that
yeah.
movie is always on cable on Thanksgiving.
Yeah, all the it's like four adopted brothers.
Oh,
and
I've seen
they
that.
get
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
Mark Wahlberg,
It's an action movie.
Andre 3000, some other white guy, and then I feel like there's another black dude.
And they stand up for one another, right?
They do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Their
Yeah.
mom gets
That's what
murdered or
Detroit's about,
something.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, just standing up for one. I'm always standing up for people.
That's why I like you. That's why I brought you on the pod. You're here to stand up to for me against these bullies.
What did we
I'm not
do?
just a
These
stand-up
guys always
comedian.
they pick on me. They call me. They call
The
me
Motor City? Is that what it is?
Yeah, the Motor City.
Everyone over
Yeah.
there has a Mustang, right?
Yeah, everyone has
Yeah.
a Mustang. My
You-
dad works in the plant that builds Mustangs.
Oh.
Really?
So we don't have a Mustang, but he's had hands on them for some time. Yeah.
Wasn't the point of Ford like they wanted to make cars that their employees could afford?
I don't know. That sounds right.
Yeah.
That sounds like something they would say.
That's why Sleepover is always free.
Yeah. And we're also built for tough. So.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Are you a Ford guy or a Chevy?
Oh
guy?
yeah,
You're
no,
Ford.
I'm for it because it was like one of the few like convictions I have. Because like my dad's an auto worker, his dad was an auto worker, his dad was an auto worker, all Ford. So it's like very like don't bite the hand that feeds you kind of thing.
Yeah.
Really, it's like really you're faithful to the union because
Yeah.
that's who actually gives a shit about you. But like it was like you have to drive a Ford. So when I got my first like new car, I was very like I got to get a Ford Fiesta.
I love that.
And so I was like, what's the cheapest, you know?
What are you
Ford, but
what are you driving right now?
it's a Fiesta.
They still
Oh, nice.
Fiesta?
Oh, yeah.
I
So
like
rocking
that.
that
It's a party.
I
Fiesta.
like having a party when I drive. Dude.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I got pulled over for buzz driving once, and then
Oh, shit.
and the cop was like, "How are you? Have you drinking tonight?" And I was like, "Dude, I'm driving a Fiesta. What do you think?" man?" And then he's like, "My man," he let me go. It was
Oh,
tight.
wow.
What's that thing? Is like, good evening, problem. What seems to be the opposite?
Yeah.
I saw one that said like a guy gets pulled over and he's like, "Come on, officer, we all do stupid shit when we're drunk." But no, it's good to have you, dude.
Those are
Oh, yeah,
like
it's good.
those are like those novelty signs that you
Yeah,
see in
yeah,
a garage,
bumper
much like this.
stickers.
Yeah.
A T-shirt at a gas station.
Oh, I remember what. Don't drink and drive because you might hit something and spill your drink.
Yeah.
Palm Springs, that's where people buzz drive a lot. You can tell, dude.
Who do you think
Yeah.
writes those T-shirts? Like, how do you get into that industry?
Big T-shirt.
Big T-shirt, yeah.
Whoever owns Big Dogs.
Greatest comedic minds of
Yeah,
our
yeah.
generation. Yeah.
Dude, I've been listening to some Bob Seger, dude.
Hell yeah.
And
That's road music right
yeah,
there.
dude. I remember.
Also Detroit thing.
Yeah. I remember you were a big fan.
Yeah.
I listened to the song "Against the Wind" for the first time, like maybe a year ago, right?
Oh, shit.
And I had to pull my car over, and I had to think about my life.
Oh man, I'm glad it hit you. I'm
Yeah.
glad it hit you just right. It is one of those things that like I don't think you can fully appreciate as like a teenager.
Yeah.
And then once you start living a little bit of life, you're like, oh, Bob's right,
Yeah,
man. Like,
there's
I
this
get it.
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
this lyric where he says, "I wish I didn't know now what I didn't know then."
Yeah.
And that's when I had to pull the car. I had to put the hazards
Boom.
on. People were honking, and I was like, "Go ahead." How do people drive to that, dude?
Is the
That's-
song
Yeah.
Night Moves about like having sex when you're a teenager?
yeah.
That's what I always thought it
Literally
was about,
working on your night moves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be crazy if it was about having sex with teenagers.
I mean, there are unfortunately
There are a lot of songs about that, yeah.
rock and roll has a real problem with
She was
that.
just 17, if you
Yeah,
know what I
that's-
mean. I'm like, don't lead off the song with that, dude. Come on. But yeah, I've been listening to this guy,
This
man.
mug.
That's a
I was like, man, I really feel like we're doing a show.
And there's nothing on the mug, right?
No, because you'll catch hell from the sponsors if you.
Yeah, if you have something branded.
Yeah.
Really, I'd like they use an empty one, dude.
Wait, so you grew up in Detroit?
No, I grew up in Monroe, which is like 40 minutes south of Detroit.
Oh,
Monroe's
okay.
kind of the boonies. It's kind of the sticks.
Yeah.
And but Detroit's where I started comedy. That was like the
okay.
comedy scene. So it was like you had like Detroit, the college town Ann Arbor, Lansing's like the capital, but kind of the least like notable of those cities.
That's like us with Sacramento.
Yeah. It's very similar. And then Toledo, Ohio was like not. That was like I grew up between Detroit and then Toledo's not. So you had like 4 like cities within an hour. So that's where how I did stand up for years. When I would just hit
Like a
that.
circuit.
Yep.
of-
Yeah. I would just hit this rotation and just go up all the time.
Which one was the one you were
Yeah.
least excited to go to when you were? Because there's always like a place that you kind of have to go to, you know, for like the time. Is there like a place where like, oh, I got to go to?
When I was in MC, because like all the clubs you would do that like MC feature headliner. That was like the system, and I was very grateful to that, but like hosting at the Toledo Funny Bone was not fun. That was always like, oh, this is like there's still certain top 40 music that I hear, and it's like, oh, you're about to bomb.
It's like triggering.
What are they
Yeah,
playing?
yeah.
Happy by Pharrell.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that would fit. Yeah, that's in that
I was
wheelhouse.
gonna say, so what the one was this, like 2014 or something?
Yeah,
like that?
I was. I probably had my sea legs by Pharrell, but I was. there was the "Why You Gotta Be So Rude" whenever.
wow.
Yeah, that's a great song.
That was
There's
bad.
also-
We all
there's
like
this-
were acting like we didn't like it. And Vince was like,
Yeah,
that's a great
I
song.
think it's great,
That's
yeah.
a very.
Yeah.
That's
It wasn't
a very,
the song's fault.
Yeah,
you know?
Does it have like a Rasta theme to it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
a little bit.
Yeah.
That's a very.
Yeah.
Vin-
So
That's a
random.
very Vince
Yeah.
song.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I love Rasta
Because
music.
you love
guys.
apologizing. Why do you gotta be?
Vince is a
If
baddie boy, dude.
somebody, Vince would tell somebody, "Why do you have to be so rude?" You know that's very. You're very
very
polite. I like
confident,
that.
yeah.
I feel like Ann Arbor must have been cool. Like around Michigan.
Say that again.
Ann Arbor was Ann
Oh
Arbor
yeah,
cool?
Ann Arbor's a college town,
Yeah.
so that was like
Elvis,
really
dude,
made me
yeah.
fall in love with because like you like stand up and you're like figuring out stuff, and then that was like your first like kind of like a hip crowd,
Yeah.
and then you're like, oh, I can like that really made me fall in love with it because then it was like, oh, I can like there's this kind of rude awakening when you start stand because you watch it on TV,
Yeah.
and then it's so different in reality that
Yeah.
you're like, how can I pull off like what this really original kind of stuff, kind of like more heady stuff, and then when you finally find your first like hip audience, you're like, oh,
Yeah.
I can lean in to this and kind of figure it out. So Ann Arbor had that because it was the college town, so that was like my home club was the Ann Arbor Comedy Showcase, which I still perform there a lot and stuff. So
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
dude. You found a place that met your wavelength, right?
yes,
Yeah, yeah.
exactly.
Because before that was just like clubs where you had to do like topical stuff for like older crowds, or
yeah, it was you would, especially because I was like 17 when I started.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah, you're performing for middle-aged people in comedy club, and you could do well too. But
Yeah.
you like the stuff like. You'd be watching, Eugene Merman or someone on TV, and you're like, I want to do like stuff like that, but I don't know how I'm gonna totally pull that
Yeah,
off with
yeah.
these. And then you find that like that hip crowd, and then you go like, because I always pride myself on like doing both, like you on like that Venn diagram.
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah, where
thing.
like you can do a little bit of this and
Yeah,
that, but
I
you
got
can be in the middle of
broad
both.
jokes
Yeah.
and hip jokes and some
Yeah.
jokes that for some reason work everywhere, like, and so I always kind of wanted to be able to like do both, but the fun part is when the crowd is on your wavelength for sure.
Yeah.
That's more fun than having to like fucking prove it, win the fight first,
And that's why we brought you on the pod, because you're
Yeah.
a wavy dude.
Yeah.
You're one of the most wavy people we've ever met. You
I'm
know?
pretty sure. I don't think I knew Wavy until I met you guys.
Yeah.
And then you
That's a lot of
introduced me to
people. You'd be
Wavy.
surprised.
You'd be
Yeah.
surprised. The guy sleeping on that bed, he still doesn't get it. He does. He always asks every day. But waviness is a vibe, and that's why you're here. Dude. Also because you like wrestling. Dude.
Oh yeah, I do
Yeah.
love wrestling.
All right, dude. Who would you watch when you were growing up?
When I was a kid, it was like 02, 03 era
Ruthless Aggression,
SmackDown.
Okay.
Yeah, that was my stuff. So Eddie Guerrero was huge.
Vince was a big Divas fan. That's all he watched.
Oh,
he
yeah.
Only
He
watched the
Diva
Divas.
matches.
he was a big fan of the bra and panties
so funny.
matches. Yeah.
Yeah, that was, I'm sure, formative.
Yeah,
in
but there
some
were
ways.
these things called
Formative years for watching the Diva matches.
these things called lingerie
Yeah,
matches.
To give you I don't know anything about wrestling, so that's,
You were just horny.
yeah. I was like, what's on
He
tonight?
still is, man.
That was always
Yeah.
like high stakes as a kid because it was like it was okay that you were watching wrestling, but when it was like overtly
Yeah.
like sexual women's thing that they were doing, it was of that time. You would be. It was very high stakes because you're like, if my folks walk in right now, it's gonna be awkward.
Oh,
you
dude!
know?
I mean, I had the wrestling game, the SmackDown versus Raw game,
Right,
and they had a
right.
bra and panties match mode.
Right.
and I'd be
Right.
playing, and I'm like, "Ooh, mom better not come home early."
Yeah, it was such a weird time because it's like a thing that is relatively for kids, but
Yeah.
also like had this like Jerry Springer aspect
Oh,
to
yeah.
it. So
Yeah.
it was like
Yeah.
this weird combination of stuff.
I
But
did watch
yeah.
a lot of Jerry Springer.
Oh, yeah.
I watched a lot of like reality TV.
you
like,
lived it.
daytime
You
television.
li- you do
Dude, I
live
lived
it,
Jerry
yeah.
Springer, dude. Yeah, dude,
You
all
know-
kinds of crazy. Yeah.
I feel like we could solve a lot of your problems if you like just take him to Jerry.
Yeah.
You know, just like let him sort it out. dude.
Instead of like having like debates, they're on Jerry Springer, right? Like all these presidential debates and stuff
I
like
mean,
that.
it feels
right?
like that, dude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Jerry Springer was a
going that
mayor
Was he really a mayor?
of Cincinnati.
Oh wow.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did not know
Yeah.
that.
That's
That's
how-
wild.
That's how he rose up. And I don't know how you go from that to like entertainment, but yeah, he did it.
No,
Whoa.
he wrestled a bear too.
Oh, Jerry.
You know that?
You're thinking of Jerry Lawler.
No. I'm thinking of Jerry Springer.
Jerry Springer
I
wrestled
could be
a bear.
wrong, but I feel like I'm not. No, I think Jerry Springer wrestled a bear that was declawed.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's insane.
But it's not-
Swear.
teeth.
I think he probably wore him.
Yeah.
Can you look this up for me, Lewis? I think
Did
just
you
take
say it was a showbiz bear?
Yeah, I mean,
It
yeah,
was a
show
Hollywood
bit.
bear.
It was Paddington himself. Dude. He was a little stiff, but
The show's still going on. I think.
Yeah, he wrestles a bear.
He
They have
wrestles-
YouTube clips.
oh
Whoa.
shoot!
Wow.
Look at this, man. I
That's nuts.
love being
I
right.
thought you were just like riffing.
No,
Even on
no.
Reddit today, I learned that Jerry Springer once wrestled a bear named Victor while serving as mayor of Cincinnati. Oh,
This was
Whoa.
this was not part of the
He was-
show.
yeah,
Yeah.
This
he
is-
did it as mayor.
When is
That's
Karen
so much
Baskin marry
crazier.
like
What
wrestle
is
a
she gonna
crocodile, dude? What is she gonna smile at a crocodile? Wrestle a
She's like,
crocodile?
we got to bring the city together. I'm going to wrestle a wild animal.
by fighting the forces of nature.
Do you think you'd be able to take on an animal? Like how high up the animal like hierarchy can he go? Like, I think I could fuck up a coyote if I needed to.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think a coyote might, but that feels like the ceiling on what you can pull off. Anything, I feel like anything you could like kick.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
where you might be able to win.
But then what about geese? I feel like I
Oh,
can kick a goose, but
they're fucking tough.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
It's like 7
I
geese.
wouldn't
Diabolical.
go out of my way to fuck with a goose. you know?
Really?
Yeah.
Dude,
They get all like they will like bow up on you. and
Yeah.
Oh
like,
yeah. A hawk almost stole my dog the other day.
Really?
Not my
Really?
dog, Lola, the dog I don't
Oh,
like.
the little dog.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Really?
A hawk almost flew down like whew, and then we had
Oh
to-
my God.
we had to whistle it away.
Holy
Wait,
shit!
what
do you-
did
what do
he
you
grab
mean?
the dog, or was it
yeah,
just
try
like
to
thinking
take
about it?
try to take the old
You
dog.
were like, get
Holy
the flute.
shit!
Yeah, you never do that. You never whistle away an animal because it distracts them. It thinks that something is approaching. You know.
Oh yeah,
You see-
I go with the old get out of here.
Oh,
Like,
yeah, that's
was-
good.
Go on,
yeah,
get.
yeah.
That's the Detroit whistle.
Yeah,
It's like, get out of here.
The one phrase all animals know is "get out
Yeah,
of here."
yeah. That they do speak English, but look, you're here. I wanted to pitch this idea because I thought
Okay.
this would be great, right? All right, you know we all love dogs. Are you a dog guy?
yeah. I like dogs.
I like
yeah.
dogs a lot, and sometimes they want to get in on the action. How about this? A wrestling league for dogs.
That's the worst idea.
Are you sure?
you just pitched dog fighting.
No.
He's trying to rebrand it.
No, dog. It's predetermined, Brad. It's,
Mike Vick over here.
it's not dog fighting. We put them in a little cage, right? We give them little outfits.
Sounds a little
They have
like-
walk-up music, a chair if you want. If you
I like the walk-up
Yeah.
music.
the walk-up
idea.
music will
Yeah.
be so good, like Atomic Dog, and
We
the
let the
dog
dogs
is
out?
yeah. Oh
Yeah.
my
I
god.
feel like there's only 3 songs.
I'm already winning
Come
Lewis
out.
over. So they come into the ring,
Okay.
and then we let them go at it.
I like the
They
entrances.
jump off. Don't you like see dogs jump off of couches?
Well,
Yeah,
I
that
mean,
would
like
be fun.
to what you're saying, like there's the puppy bowl where it's like the Super Bowl, but like for puppies doing puppy stuff.
Yeah.
I guess if they were like really small and just playing with each other.
Yeah, no,
right. Is that what you're trying to get at?
Tables, ladders, and chihuahuas,
Okay.
dude. I would admit they're just
I think
going
you're
at
just
each other.
like you're describing like a dog show, like where
Yeah.
they do all the like tricks and stuff,
shows
and they
seem
run
fun.
through.
I'm trying to tell a story with the dogs.
But you want them to
wrestle.
fight.
No, wrestle. I want them to wrestle each other, dude. Imagine like a chihuahua, like a little chihuahua, right? Very springy, going against like a Labrador, and then the chihuahua wins. Wouldn't that be something?
That would be something. If you can train them to do that, you know, would be. I think that would be huge. I think the entrances would go over really well, as long as you don't have pyro, because they're gonna hate that.
That is bad.
That's right. Dogs hate fire.
They do
Yeah,
hate
yeah.
pyro. Okay, I think I saw a dog at a wrestling match once. I saw a video and I was like, why would they do that? I won't name which wrestler it was because I still like him, but he should not have done that. Cool.
A lot of stimulus.
That villain, dude. But okay. Well, that's just one idea I want.
Yeah.
I got
Do you have
Lewis on
another
board.
idea?
That's it. A wrestling league for dogs would be so fun. Everybody brings their dog together.
I
and
feel
we
like
watch
cats
it.
would be better wrestling.
Cats.
Well, you
Yeah,
don't
because
like
cats
cats?
kind of get into it, but it's not like it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
Like but they'll kind of pop off at each other and then be friends after. So you might be right.
Yeah,
You might be able to pull it off with cats.
They do that little arm thing all the time.
Yeah,
the
that little-
yeah. They're great. I got slapped by a cat once, man.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it smacked me in the mouth.
Did you grow up with any pets, Brad?
Are you talking shit? We had a dog growing up.
Just one dog?
Yeah, we had a dog. It was very much like my brother's dog. Like
Yeah.
it was like gifted, so it always felt like a 1 degree of separation where it's like this is not your dog.
It's
but
almost your
yeah.
dog.
Yeah. So we had that dog, and then I had like a turtle and like fish and shit. I had like these like secondary
All the
pets that
aquatic
were
creatures.
that weren't as good as
Couple
like
of
as
reptilians.
a dog. Yeah.
How big was it? Was it a big tortoise or was it like a little?
No, it was just a little like a red-eared slider, I think it's
I
called.
didn't even know they had ears.
I don't know if they're holes. It's like where
I think
an
it's a
ear
hole.
would
I think it's
be.
holes. Yeah.
'Cause
Yeah.
Nemo, the guy.
But they're like
didn't have
little
one,
red
man.
stripe. You know, it was like a pet store turtle, like a common turtle.
Did
named
you-
Ralph?
His name was Ralph.
Yeah.
Ralph Cifaretto, the turtle. Wait. How old this guy? Do you still have him?
Oh no, he's long dead.
I thought they lived to like 100 years old or
I
something.
think so.
Oh,
I
I
think
That's
about
like
that
big
long.
mean-
tortoises.
How do they live that long?
Tortoises?
If you were an animal, do you think? I mean, like, I'm sure they can't think that critically, but do you think you'd want to be alive for 100 years if you're an animal?
Because tortoises are the only ones I think that can do that.
Mm-hmm.
They know that they can live that long.
Yeah.
Oh,
They can
okay.
live a
Yeah.
really
There's some
long
tortoises
time.
that long.
Yeah.
That are that old.
So imagine being a tortoise and seeing Hitler and Biden in the same like lifetime.
I was at one time. I was at it was the LA Zoo, and there were tortoises, and they were fucking, and sounds like rocks,
Like-
fucking.
Like two rocks, like
Yeah,
banging each other?
like
Whoa.
like it sounded like two rocks grinding. I was like, "What is that sound?" And I was like, "Oh, it's the tortoises having sex." But then I was like looking at the plaque, and it said like these tortoises were brought here by this dude in like the late 40s. But it was like the tortoises I was looking at.
So
they were like
they're
they're
that
this
old.
old. Yeah, they're
Whoa.
like they've been in this zoo for like 80 years or something.
Wow.
Yeah.
Those tortoises
I might have the year wrong, but they were
Yeah.
old as
yeah,
fuck.
and they still go at it.
And
That's
they're
why I
still
like
going
that.
at
and they
it,
were
yeah.
still,
Yeah, maybe-
So I guess to answer your original question, would I like it? Yes.
Yeah.
Because you're still getting laid
They still have
100
a
years
real
later.
zest for life.
They have like that animal sex
Yeah,
drive.
after all those years.
You get that-
They still love each other.
People say you got that dog in you. I'd rather have that tortoise. Man. You know what I mean? Dogs live
Slow
like
and steady.
slow and steady for 100 years versus like humping anything for 12. Give me that slow and
Yeah.
steady,
See,
man.
seen those
You know
videos
what?
where dogs get stuck.
Oh yeah, when dogs get stuck having sex, that's the funniest thing.
Oh, for you, dude, I gotta get him out of there, man. I feel bad for him.
Have you done that?
happens to your
No,
dogs a lot?
my dog got like an erection that lasted longer than 4 hours.
Whoa.
And,
Oh my god.
Oh, I had to take care of him, dude.
Gave him the. You should have given him that Viagra.
I think I sent you guys the photo, and you guys are all
Oh
disgusted.
yeah, we were pissed off about that.
Yeah, because usually a dog with a red rocket, but when it all comes out, it looks like he's in pain and his back,
my
his
God,
back, his
jeez.
back is arched, like, and he looks like he needs to throw up because he's that horny.
Jesus.
And
How'd you fix
Stuff
that?
like that's like I can't have a dog. You know, on paper it's like it's just like walks and fun stuff, but then when you get down to the bottom of of it. Like stuff like that's happening. I'm like, I can't have that in my life.
No, they love you though. You know what I mean?
Have you guys ever gotten your dog's like anal glands expressed?
That Dylan used to do that.
Yeah.
Our friend Dylan used to work for like a dog groomer, and one of the things that he talked about is that the things that they make groomers do is express their anal glands. So they have to squeeze this gland on a dog, and then it just kind of like relieves them of whatever they've got in their bowels.
Wow.
And you're supposed to do that. Yeah, I didn't know that you were supposed to.
Yeah, I didn't know that was a thing. Our friend Dylan got pink eye from that.
There's a guy in his eye once, and yeah.
Jesus.
Hey, we laughed so much, but he was having a bad time. Yeah.
Wow.
I would call the day. I'd be like, no, I
Straight
can't
up,
do this anymore.
yeah.
That
Yeah.
dude kept working.
The whole week, honestly,
Yeah.
until the pink eye went away.
Bro,
Damn.
put on some glasses, dude.
Damn. Yeah, you gotta throw on some goggles.
You're in the splash zone. Imagine getting like an STD from a dog
Oh man.
and trying to explain it. No, baby.
No, I swear, I work at a dog groomer.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, that's so funny.
You recently recorded an album, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. How'd you enjoy doing that?
Special. It was like a lot of work and stuff, but people
Yeah.
seemed to be enjoying it, so that was kind of cool, you know.
Yeah.
So
This is album number 2 or album number 3?
2.
This is
yeah.
number 2, dude.
Oh, yeah.
This is
Yeah.
the Dark Knight of the album trilogy.
Oh yeah,
This is it.
People really like this
Yeah,
one,
yeah.
but the main guy dies right after. So. Yeah.
For you, when do you feel like you're ready to like do the next like album or the next special? Like what does it take in your brain where you're like, I feel good about all this, now I want to go?
Yeah, it's just like time, you know. So if it's like if I feel like I got like 40 minutes or so,
Yeah.
that isn't on anything, and then like you can tell when something's like I can tell at least for me like when a joke is like done.
Yeah.
And so if it all feels like okay, these are all done. And
Yeah.
I got like X amount of jokes. That's pretty much. But it takes me a long time to like put together a long set like that because it's like having like a 70-piece puzzle, but you have to like just trial and error. Like even if I get a joke to like work, I go
Yeah.
okay, now where does it live
In the context of
in a 40
the-
minute
yeah.
set so that it all like works, you know. So that's the part that I had to like. That's why I was on the road a lot too, because it was like I just need to like keep running this until I figure it out, kind
Yeah.
of thing. So that takes a long time, you know.
So a lot of your jokes are like on the shorter side, right?
Yeah,
They're like
yeah.
smaller bits. So that's a lot
Yeah.
to memorize and put like into what goes where. Because yours is like
Right.
a long story for the most
Yeah,
part. You know what I mean?
Right.
I think
That's what
we're-
you should do.
No. But then you can't have a Gremlins joke. Man. You can't have that, dude. What is-
Has there been any instance where like after you did record your joke where you're like, oh, I now have thought of a tag for this thing?
Oh yeah, or just like it'll be like a little like nuanced like delivery thing, and then it'll hit way harder, and you're like,
Yeah.
fuck, you know that's the worst. That the only thing that makes you feel better is that it literally happens to everyone.
Yeah, definitely.
Like it's just impossible to. At some point, you have to like call it, and then you are gonna improve jokes or think it.
Do you completely retire the jokes after that you've put them on a special?
No, because it's for me. It's like I think that stuff only really applies to like people who have people coming to see them. Like the whole. If you're on Netflix and you have a tour and people are all coming to
Yeah.
see you specifically, but like for someone like me, it's like I'll have like a table. That's there. Where like we are here to
love
see
this guy.
Brad Wenzel
Yeah.
specifically. The rest of the people are like we're here to see a comedian. So like they don't give a shit. And then but also for me like because it takes me a while and the jokes are short, it's like piece by piece. You know, it's like I write a new joke and I'll take an old joke out and put that, and then I just sort of rebuild it and stuff. You know, so right now I brought a bunch of old stuff back from the first album because that wasn't even on video or anything.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
So I
Yeah.
brought a bunch of old stuff because I was like, I don't want to go back on the road and be doing exactly what I was doing.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm going to take like 20 minutes from the old album that I haven't really done in years and kind of like retool that.
Yeah.
And at first I was like, this is unnecessary because it's like, who's gonna really care or notice? And then I was in Louisville, and like one like table came up afterward, and we're like, we watched your special like a bunch of times, and I was like, oh, I'm glad I changed it so they didn't just watch the same show, you know. And then I got new stuff too, so right now it's like this like Frankenstein of like really old stuff, really new stuff, and then like filling in the gaps with the stuff on the special. So if I was famous, I don't know what the fuck.
But I think that's really exciting for someone like that table that was there to see you is like they kind of see your process too, where they're like, oh, he has all this, and some of it is like remnants of something I might be familiar with, but to see you like taking it into a different direction, I think is really cool for someone to see, because I feel like a lot of time you don't get to see like the process of someone working on something. You kind of just always see the finished product of something, you know.
Totally.
So I feel like that's kind of like a very interesting experience for someone, you know.
Right. Yeah. People never. I always get really. I think most comics get concerned about the audience being like, I've seen some of this before, but then at large, like they don't really remember to the degree we remember, or like even care that much,
because we're so self-critical. I think we're like they're gonna be mad or something. Like, I had a cool thing. I did a show in Lansing, and I was like doing different stuff, and there was like a beat between jokes, and a dude in the crowd requested a joke. That's nice. I had never had that happen before. He was like, do the fencing joke. And I was like, oh, I'm like the Rolling Stones now. So I've like, I tend to have like one table of very faithful people, and then everyone else is like, who is this weird guy who's just saying weird shit, you know?
I was that guy, dude. I love that fencing joke. So let's take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back. We are back with Sleepover. I don't know if I told this story in the podcast once, but maybe a few years ago, right? I took an edible at night to watch. I took an edible at night to watch The Phantom Menace, as I usually do. And you know, like you've taken edibles to watch a movie, right?
I have, yeah.
You know, you're like, what's the worst thing that can happen? I think for you
is you trip too hard.
That's okay. We'll get to there. My dad walks in the room mid edible, things starting to hit, and he said, "Hey, your sister needs to go to the hospital." And I was like, "Oh my god!" And he's like, "And I need you to drive her." And I'm like, "Oh no!"
Wait, why couldn't he drive?
That's a great question.
It's a great question, which I cannot answer. But he's like, you need a driver, and I'm like, okay. The thing is, it hasn't hit me completely yet, but I'm slowly starting to get that little tingle, you know. And then I drive, and I'm like, whoa, I got to drive really slow. And we pull up to the hospital. She's all sick, or I don't know what's going on with her. But we get in there. And we're in the waiting room, and this thing is starting to hit me super hard. And my dad is just sitting right next to me, you know, and he's just sitting. He's trying to talk to me, and I'm like, you know what, Pop, I'm just going to listen to some music. But I put on some music, but it was just too hardcore. I think I just couldn't handle it.
Like what?
I think I was just listening to rap, and I could not handle the rap. And I was like, it was because I took a lot. When I watch a movie, I want to feel like I'm on Naboo. You know?
Yeah, you want to be there.
I want to be there. I want to be. This is pod racing
in a galaxy far, far away.
I want to go there, and then so I needed to calm down because I was starting to freak out.
Your dad started looking like Jar Jar Binks.
With his mustache. And
You're
everything.
on Tatooine. It's up the hospital.
Yeah,
listen, big doo doo.
I was. It's a big old doo doo. And I put on my headphones, and then I'm like, what can I listen to? And I listened to Brad's first album. Straight through. And I was like, what was that? I was at peace. I don't know. I mean, I feel like I was doing worse than my sister, dude. But that thing calmed me down. So I think you can tell that to a doctor, man.
I appreciate that.
It saved my life. It's the only reason my sister's alive, I think. Because I had to drive her back home too, you know. And that's why I'm here to tell the story.
I saved a life.
You saved a life, dude.
Have you ever tripped out on drugs, Brad?
No, I've only smoked weed, really. I've gotten too high, for sure, which isn't it's not like tripping, but it's like, it's definitely an experience.
You should listen to your own album, dude.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man, that's what I would have the opposite reaction where, like, I did where I got too high recently, and I was just, you're outside of your own body, analyzing your own life, and I was trying to write a joke about it, because I was like, if you have like if you get a little high, it's like so funny.
Yeah.
And it's so fun, but like, and it's relaxing. But if you get too high, it makes me uptight. Because like if I'm like a little high, I'll be like, oh, like Count Chocula's funny or whatever. And then, but then if I get like too high, I'm like, I gotta get a real job. Like this is insane. I can't, I'm a clown who travels. Like that's not a way to live, you know. Or I had that like. I won't do it with movies anymore. Like I feel there's certain experiences it like heightens for me, and certain it takes away. But I went to see like the Jackass movie, and it hit me wrong, and I was in the theater, and like it's like people falling down. It's funny, you know. It's pretty lighthearted. Yeah. And then I'm just sitting there, and I'm like, and they're like old now, and I'm like sitting there watching it, and I was like, this is the most like cliche high thought, but I was like, you know, one of these times, one of these guys isn't going to get back up. And by buying a ticket to this movie, did I play a small role in a man's death?
Are you an enabler?
And then I was like, oh, I'm having a bad time.
You're going to kill Steve-O.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Like, these guys are going to hurt themselves, man.
Second degree.
I think last time I
murder.
took edibles was for Disneyland.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, yeah.
No,
Was that what we
That seems
went?
like that would be a good
took
one.
some for Avatar.
Oh, wait, took some.
Yeah.
Never mind. I took some for Avatar.
No, we love going to different galaxies, dude.
Live
Yeah.
music is very fun.
Yeah.
Like that, I feel like it makes it better. Yeah.
I did edibles when I went to go see Elton John last year.
Yeah.
And they hit right as soon as it started. And I remember looking around at the crowd and just being like, too high, just being like, we're all at an Elton John concert. And then I was just like, this isn't as cool as I thought it'd be on edibles. Like, it kind of took me away.
Oh, it does that sometimes.
But then the music
yeah.
started playing and you're like, all right, this is a vibe. I'll just vibe out.
Yeah, movies I like can't follow, and I keep getting distracted. But music, I'm just like, this sounds extra good. To me. Yeah,
Did Elton John's music, was it slapping though?
It was. That was a good concert.
Did he do it? Did he go breaking your heart?
He didn't. He only did that for that last night.
That's sickening, dude. I'd be so mad.
Did you do Saturday Night's All Right for Fun?
I saw it on Saturday, so seeing it
wow.
specifically on Saturday was cool. Yeah.
Hell
And he brought out Dua Lipa to not sing, just to say hello.
Yeah, she just came out and said hello.
I like that. And then she
Oh,
sang the
interesting.
next
He started
day.
off with Benny and the Jets, which I was like, damn, this is a fucking
Oh
slapper.
shit! Yeah.
I specifically wanted to take edibles so that it hit me right during Leave-On. Like I wanted when he says like, and Jesus wants to go to Venus. I wanted to be extremely high for that one specific part, and I was.
Nice. Dude. How do you feel about the song "Werewolves of London"?
I love Werewolves of London.
Yeah,
dude.
I knew.
Yeah,
I just
that
looking
song-
at you, I feel like you'd be a fan of
Dude,
that song.
you read me like a book, man. I fucking love
You
that
look like
song.
you'd be a werewolf.
Yeah. Emily and I would joke. We were like, we'd joke about our wrestling alter egos, and we'd be like, Wolfman wins. That would be my character.
Dude, I
you
hit
know?
it right on the nail on the head.
Would you
dude.
guys
Yeah.
rather be vampires or werewolves?
Oh, werewolf. For
Werewolf,
sure,
yeah.
man.
Vampire.
Of course, Vince wants to be a fucking
I'm
vampire.
afraid of dying.
Yeah.
Live forever.
I don't like preying on women. That's why I wouldn't be a vampire.
Is that
you
what
know?
vampires do?
Yeah, Dick. Have you never
Isn't
heard
that
of
what a werewolf does?
No, Dracula
The way
does that.
I look like I would naturally be a werewolf, though, you look naturally vampire-ish.
No.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
absolutely.
You
look
do.
like a vampire.
Yeah, that's what.
You're not
yeah.
werewolf enough.
What are you talking
Yeah.
about?
Yeah.
I'm like, I want to just rip my shirt off. Dude.
I'd be more of a werewolf.
No, you're not.
Yeah, I would be.
Absolutely
Yeah, no,
not.
you're right now, yeah.
I agree. You would be more
are
werewolf.
those-
Yeah.
You're one of the
leaning,
furry art werewolves for some reason. Just very,
Yeah.
very slender werewolf.
Like
Yeah.
a deviant art werewolf
What are those?
that some like nerd draws in class. Yeah,
What are those Native American shapeshifters called?
those are skinwalkers.
Yes.
That's
Skinwalkers.
Vince.
Wendigos.
What are they called?
Wendigos?
Yeah.
That sounds like a word you can't say. I don't know why. It
No,
just sounds
well,
like
it is a-
Wendigo. You wait.
It's also a
Skinwalker?
Marvel character.
Skinwalkers?
Skinwalkers.
Skinwalkers,
Yeah.
Have you ever encountered one of these kind of guys?
Nah, I don't think so. What did they do? They shapeshift?
Yeah.
Yeah, they shapeshift.
So you wouldn't have known if you
Exactly.
saw him.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's true. We could be.
You're on the road a lot.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Have you
I
seen
probably
anything like scary on the road?
encountered scary how? Like
Oh, I
Like
guess
a-
there's
like
like
a
real.
skinwalker?
I mean more paranormal rather than like, oh, I saw a
Paranormal.
crazy guy at a bus stop.
no, I'm trying to.
Brad is
trying
the
to
crazy
think.
guy.
I don't know if I've stayed in a haunted. I did a show in a haunted mansion. And then we
yes.
stayed in the mansion, and so I fucking left the light on like a little kid. Yeah, I was like, I'm not turning this lamp off. I'm just gonna crash. But nothing happened there. But we threw pumpkins off the roof, and that was just really fun.
That
but
cool.
that wasn't really paranormal. That was just kind of a fun time. But one of the things that I saw, it wasn't paranormal, but it was just like, I was like, this is just a weird thing to witness. Was I was doing a show in northern Michigan and it like snowed, and I'm like,
That's close to Canada, right?
yeah, like I'm in like the woods, like, and it's just snowing. I'm like kind of like white knuckling it on these back roads, and there was someone had hit a deer. And so there was like a dead deer that was like bloody and stuff, but it's all crisp white snow. And then there was like a group of bald eagles eating it.
Oh.
And so it was like, and I like stopped my car because there's like no one around. I'm like 10 feet away watching these like huge, majestic bald eagles like covered in blood eating. And I was just like, this is some National Geographic.
Because they're huge.
They're huge
birds.
They're huge.
Yeah.
And I was like, and I was so close to it. I'd never been. It would be like being in the zoo or something. But it was
Wait,
like
that's
they were
American as
live.
fuck.
That is,
Yeah.
That's
USA,
so American.
baby.
Yeah. They played Hotel California. But I was like, yeah, I couldn't believe. I was just alone, and I was like, I can't believe I'm looking at this right now. But that wasn't paranormal either. I'm just like, that's the thing
like a
that
spiritual
stuck
experience.
with me. They were probably shapeshifters.
For a second, I was like, why would they be playing Hotel California? And I was like, oh shit.
That was a dynamite riff.
That was
That was very good.
off the dome.
Top tier.
That was
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
That was tight. How do you feel about the Eagles?
I like that. I like the Eagles in a greatest hits capacity.
All
You
right.
know,
Okay.
Glenn Fry. He's from Michigan. Also,
He
he's
is?
a Detroit guy.
All right.
And they're very Seeger affiliated.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
like Seeger's like my guy, but like I like the Eagles, but it's like a greatest hits, and that's
Yeah.
kind of extent. The Eagles documentary is very funny,
Dude,
because
how-
that's like unintentionally like hilarious.
I was about to ask you how you felt about that doc.
Oh,
Man, that doc
it-
puts me in a mood. It gets me
Dude,
pumped to like
it's
seize the day.
So funny. Like there's like that scene because it's like there's like no heroes in it. Like, there's no like, well, they're right and they're wrong. It's like situations where everyone's wrong.
Yeah.
And they fight all the time, but you're like, everyone at every turn is being a dick. And like, cause there's a scene where the dude who sings the high note in Take Me to the Limit.
When he gets fired on.
When he gets fired, that story is so fucking funny. Like that makes the whole documentary, because like the main guys in the Eagles who are like the guys who are kind of come off as bullies a little bit, like they're kind of pushing people around. But then you would think that would then make the other guys endearing, but then they're like kind of like dweebs a little bit in a way that like they're both parties are wrong, and like they're like, yeah, so we record Take Me to the Limit. It's our first #1. We're like selling out arenas, and we're gonna close with it because literally everyone is fucking here because of this song. And they're like, and the one guy, the kind of this dweeby, goofy looking guy in the Eagles is like, he didn't want to sing because he's got to sing that crazy high note, and he goes, and it makes him nervous. And so he would be like, I don't wanna. And they're like, this isn't optional, dude. You like have to, like, we sold out an arena. You have to sing our #1 hit. But then he's being like a little kid. He's like, I don't want it. And then they're like, but he's got this attitude that I don't understand. So they're being dicks because they're like, you gotta fucking sing it or I'm gonna fucking kick your ass or whatever. They're being like real jerks about it. But then he's being so obtuse where he's like, maybe I don't feel like it, like kind of thing. And then he's like, and then I got kicked out of the Eagles. And you're like, yeah, of course you did.
Didn't want to work.
But yeah, to watch that
When
doc.
Vince doesn't do the gangster.
That's what I
bit.
was saying. Vince sometimes does that because Vince has this joke that always like almost gets an applause break. It gets so many applause breaks that when it doesn't, he looks surprised on stage. It takes him 2 seconds to realize, oh shit, I got to keep talking. And then Vince doesn't want to do this joke sometimes. I'm like, Vince, they're here for the joke. They need to see that joke, dude. It's like a joke where you turn the mic to the crowd and they finish it
And they
for you.
finish it.
Oh,
That's
amazing.
This guy's
Andrew
got
Dice Clay.
It's very Dice Clay, dude.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I think only Joe Walsh comes out looking a little okay at the Eagles doc. You know, just because
Oh,
he just-
Joe Walsh is cool as hell.
just 'cause
Yeah.
he's just so
Because
wild.
he just came in later and he's like, yeah, I just kicked ass on guitar.
He's like, I'm my own dude, so I'm like, I don't really need this,
Yeah.
but like, I'm here to hang out. Yeah, Joe Walsh comes out very
and
cool.
then Jackson Brown comes off well because
Oh,
he's just on the
Jack-
side.
Oh, he's
Oh,
great.
yeah.
How do you feel
That
about
guy
the
seems
song
cool.
Life's Been Good?
Oh, I love that. Joe Walsh, Rocky Mountain Way. I love all that shit.
Have you seen those
Yeah.
guys live? Besides, not Bob Seger, but like but like Joe Walsh or the Eagles. Or
No,
like
but I would be down. It's a little the Eagles. It's a little like because Glenn Fry died, so it's a
yeah.
little bit like kind of like I would still go, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
but like it would. I'm a little less like
Yeah,
Inclined to go.
yeah. Same thing as I love ZZ Top,
Oh,
and
really?
one of the 3 dudes died, so it's like. I would still go check that out, but it's
Now
I'm
it's
a
just
little
Z-Top?
I
Yeah.
didn't know there
Or
was
Z-
3
or
dudes. I thought
ZZ.
there was 2 dudes.
There's 2 dudes with big beards, and then there's the one guy without a
yeah.
beard.
One of the bearded
Gotcha.
Dusty he passed away.
Damn.
So one of the bearded.
Oh, one of the bearded guys.
Did you ever play any instruments growing up?
I took guitar lessons, but I like couldn't like figure out. I would just like learn a riff, do
Yeah.
like a thing, but I wouldn't like actually like have the discipline to truly learn how to play.
Yeah.
I would just be like, oh, I can play like one part of like an AC/DC song or something, and then I would be like, and then I would show up next week, and he'd be like, all right, do you
more.
like know more? And
Yeah.
I'm like, not really. You know?
All
So
you
I
need
was-
is a riff.
It's our friend Steven Moreno's riff, but he talks about how every movie trailer that has AC/DC in it, you know that's going to be one of the worst movies that ever fucking come out.
big. They were in the Iron Man movie.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, I like that movie though. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, they sang the Iron Man song?
No, that's Iron.
No.
That's Black
That's
Sabbath.
Black Sabbath. That's
What,
Ozzy Osbourne.
what does he come out to?
He comes out to I think Back in Black or some shit
Oh,
like that.
that-
Back in Black or Thunderstruck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not the Iron Man
People
song?
hate on ACDs. They were my favorite when I was a little kid, and I like got away from it as I got older. But the people who hate on them now, I'm like, no, you can't.
Dude.
They've had 2 lead singers? Right?
Yeah.
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 But were those like 2 different sounds, or was it pretty similar when one took
The
over?
sounds really so. Their voices are pretty distinct, but
Okay.
it's pretty impressive because their lead singer died.
Yeah.
and then they got a new lead singer, and then made their biggest album
Right
with
after.
the new guy.
Oh,
so it's
yeah.
like pretty impressive.
Was it Back in Black?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they had like written it all with the first singer, and then he died, and then they brought in the second singer, and that was like
Wow.
their biggest album and stuff. But I like people are just like because it's all redundant and stuff, and I'm like I like that band just knows what they know what they are.
What they're good at.
Yeah,
I
dude.
respect that. I'm like why it's like why is it respectable to make like 2 albums people like and then get completely away from that and get worse and worse and worse with every album until it's like no one cares, and then it's like no, just if you are good at that thing, like, and you just stay. Also, it's like people are like AC/DC sucks, I'm like, dude, we're bowling right now. There's a time and a place for this, and it's bowling.
Since I've been DJing weddings, I've been playing like more rock, and
Yeah.
I play every time I play. You shook me all night long. Dude.
That's a slapper.
That's
Dude,
a wedding
okay.
song.
That is
Yeah.
like by Usher for like just 50-year-old white dudes.
Yeah.
Like they get so crazy to that song, and it makes me get. I'm like, dude, I'm fucking with this song now too.
Oh,
man. I
yeah,
love
yeah.
that song. Like it's wild.
You know
man.
where AC/DC got their name from?
I don't know.
A vacuum cleaner.
You're kidding.
Yeah, because AC/DC is some kind of electrical current, so they saw it on a vacuum, and they're like, "Fuck yeah, that's it."
I love
Yeah.
how bands get their names. Like Joy Division is just the corner of Joy and Division.
Oh,
really?
Yeah.
Really?
That's
The
cool.
Eagles were at Joshua Tree high on mushrooms, and they saw an eagle in the sky, and they're like, "That's it."
You know what pisses me off though? The Beatles. I thought they were looking at a big old bug. And what is it, Lewis?
Oh, beat. Like they make beats. Beat.
That is why I can't stand those guys.
That's kinda funny.
That gets me
Beatles.
mad.
Weren't they like wasn't like the Silver Beatles or something like that, and they
Oh,
shortened it? I thought they started out with like a
wow.
longer thing. I could be wrong.
I thought they were
about
the
this.
Soggy Bottom Boys. Or was
Ugh,
that
the Silver Bullet Band, dude.
Silver Bullet Band ribs.
That's a cool name, dude.
Yeah.
That's very werewolfy.
Yeah, he's got kind of a Wolfman thing.
I forgot where
going on.
Led Zeppelin came from, but they spelled it differently for American audiences.
I think somebody told him they're gonna crash and burn. Like
Oh
a
no,
Led
because
Zeppelin.
it would have been led like
Yeah.
LEAD, and they thought Americans would be like lead Zeppelin.
yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
I would
right.
definitely think
Yeah.
that. I would. They weren't wrong, dude. What's your favorite Bob Seger song? What's
Favorite?
fan.
That's tough.
You.
Yeah,
That's
dang, it's
tough.
me.
Favorite song's tough, but I like.
I feel like there's a song for every mood.
Oh yeah, yeah.
know?
There's. I mean,
When you're driving down the road,
I feel like they're all driving songs.
They are.
Yes,
yeah.
exactly.
We need more.
It's so important.
I feel like driving music is something that's kind of gone away. You don't really hear it as much. You know, Like, I
Right.
want to hear a good driving song.
I like that
sometimes.
song, "Sister Golden Hair" by America.
Ah,
I think
that's a good one.
It's a great one.
Another song that makes me almost pull over. Dude.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
that's-
really like Main Street. The riff in Main Street.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good Bob Seger song. Brave Strangers is a deep cut. I like a lot. Until It Shines is a deep cut.
Mm-hmm.
Those are all great. And then it's like if I'm going to a gig and like Turn the Page comes on, you gotta let it play. You gotta listen to Turn the Page. You know?
do you listen to
Yeah.
anything before you go on stage, like to get in the mood when you're doing like a longer set?
Nah, I've never been. I don't. I just kind of sit down. That was like it was funny. Like whenever dudes are like kind of like stretching or like jumping up, like getting hyped. I'm
Yeah.
like I'm the opposite. I'm like I want to sit in a chair.
Yeah.
And like I'll look at my set list a couple times and stuff, and then like that's all. I don't really have too much of a routine or something. But sometimes if they ask me like, do you want to play something? Maybe I'll go Ramblin' Gamblin' Man by Bob Seger because
Okay.
it's like that's like a real
Yeah.
like needle drop fun
Yeah.
song. So I'll go with that. Would be my go-to for that stuff.
If you had a walkout song, not for stand up,
Mm-hmm.
let's say you were gonna go to a wrestling match, you know,
ooh,
what song is that gonna be?
oh man,
See, that has to be a different mood because
Yeah,
you're trying
that's
to
why
get the
different-
crowd to pop. You know, you can't go out
oh
to
yeah,
Big Balls by AC/DC.
big balls.
Vince,
She's got
Vince
big
McMahon loves AC/DC.
Does he
That's like
really?
a real thing. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That's like his favorite band.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, that's why they like pop up a lot on like that on WWE.
It's cool. Triple H would occasionally come out to Motorhead, like
Yeah,
the
he's
actual
a
band.
Motorhead.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Great that Lemmy died not that long ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking
R.I.P.
Triple H killed him. That son of a bitch. He's a dirty dog. But
I'm trying to think of a good walkout song because I've definitely thought about it, but it's always in the moment. Like I'll hear a song and be like, "This would be a good,
This would be good.
this
Yeah,
would be
yeah.
a good wrestling song." But I'm trying to think of one on the spot. Come back to me.
sorry, I was about to say we're gonna wrap it up.
Oh,
Well, Danny, I wanted you to tell one story before we wrap up.
Which one?
And that's about finding out about your uncle's accent recently.
Okay. So
What?
before so I got an uncle, right? My uncle Chewy, he's a good guy.
Okay.
And we talked.
Chewbacca?
No, you're stupid. But no, he'll always be talking to me, but I don't see him too much. But he'll always be like, "Daniel, how you doing?" And then I'll be like, "Good." And he's like, "Very nice, very nice." And I'm like, "Okay." He has like an accent, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
And then my dad, I was like, "Hey, Pop, like, how come you don't have an accent, but he has an accent?" He's like, "What are you talking about?" And I was like, "Yeah, my uncle Chewy, he has like an accent. He's always like, very nice, very nice." And he's like, he's just doing the Borat voice. And I'm like, wait, this whole time, like for like 20 years, every time he's talking to me, he's doing the Borat voice. And he's like, yeah, he's just trying to make you laugh.
You just thought he was
That's
Mexican.
incredible.
You just thought he was some weird Mexican dude.
How universal is Borat, man?
You're like, Uncle Chewy's always introducing me to my aunt. He's always like, my wife, Uncle Chewy. You know?
But yeah, that is. But I guess that's been Sleepover. I guess on the next episode we'll come back. We leave this on a cliffhanger.
I thought my grandpa came up with "Do I Make You Horny, Baby?" But it's from Austin Powers. Yeah.
That's why I want to know how that came up. He was just saying that a lot.
Yeah, I'm just kidding.
Okay. Shout out to your grandpa either way, dude. But yeah, man, where can people find you at?
At Brad Wenzel on Instagram. Follow me on that because I gotta get that going. And
right.
I got an email list for road dates. That's all on the links in the link place. You know how to do it. And then the specials on YouTube.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
What's the
Yeah.
special called?
Joke, or just type in Brad Wenzel and it'll pop up. But,
Hell yeah.
Yes,
Thanks, Brad.
I like
Thanks
three
for
jokes,
having me.
dude. But yeah, I've been Danny Cabral.
I'm Luis Lamus.
And I'm Vince Caldera.
I'm Brad.
And we'll see you guys next time.